Hello and welcome to the Yerky Boys. May the Kandrona shine and strengthen you. My name is Will.
My name is Jonathan.
And we are the Yerky Boys.
So, look, my voice is not good this week. It's not
It's
good.
gonna be fine.
And I tried to come out strong. Like I was like, I'm gonna fake them out. I'm gonna make my throat do what I needed to do, as I've said many times in the past for various reasons. And it didn't do it. It sounded like shit.
Yeah, it was. He's gonna sound better than that most of the podcast. It's not that bad. You should have just done what you were capable of.
Here's the thing. It's minute 1. As I talk more, my throat's the grooves are gonna get smoothed out. And by hour 3 or 4, I will sound a lot better.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's how that works.
I have some water. I'm not even sick. Just so you know, I'm not even sick. My throat's just sore.
I don't know. It feels like you might be sick.
I'm not sick. I don't have I'm not sick. I just have a sore throat.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm not over there at any rate.
It's fine. I'm not contagious because I don't have anything that makes me sick. Tell them what we're doing today.
Today, we are going to be reading Megamorphs 2 in the Time of Dinosaurs. Now, we're only doing the first half of this book up through chapter 19 this week. So, you know, as to why that is, I think... Okay, I actually think there is less to this book than there was to book 18, the one we did last week, on the whole. However...
it's longer.
It is longer, but last book was dense.
Sure.
But I do feel like, you know, when we were talking about that book, you know, and by we I mean mostly you, got burnt out toward the end, and I really feel like we didn't do, you know, the Bright Hole and the Snake Tunnel and the City of Worms. Like, that's where most of the interesting stuff to discuss was happening, and we were getting tired by that point.
I think it's fine. I think we discussed the Bright Hole and the City of Worms more than most people would care to.
I don't think that's true. I love the Bright Hole. I love me a bright hole. What can I say?
Well, let's tell. What didn't you get to say about your bright hole that you want to talk about?
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there is nothing? There's nothing.
We're moving on. We're on a new book now. Okay. But the point is, I do think that this book, like the last book, some of the more discussion-worthy things are in the back half, and I want to make sure that we have time to focus on it. I'm also very confident in our ability to get at least like minimum an hour and a half out of anything. So I'm not too worried about, you know, not making time. Like, it'll be fine. This might be a little bit of a shorter episode. It might not. I don't know how well we'll be able to control ourselves.
Do you remember the episode of Friends when Monica's sick and she's trying to convince Chandler to have sex with her?
I don't think I do, actually.
Yeah, and he's like, no, could you be any more gross? And she's like, but Chandler, I'm horny.
Now it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, and what gets him in the end is she has some like Vicks Vapo rub or something. And she's like rubbing it on her neck and her chest, and that's what makes Chandler horny, and they have sex.
So is that what you plan to do this episode?
Could be. Anyway, I just thought if I talked about that, that'll help us get the episode to 90 minutes.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll try to control myself, but I don't know if I'll be able to resist your husky voice over there.
I know. All the listeners love it. Oh, God. It sounds bad. It sounds bad.
It's going to be okay. I promise it's going to be okay.
It's all right. Anyway, I think there's plenty to discuss in this book. I have lots of things to talk about. Good. Fuck the City of fucking Worms. Give me dinosaurs over that shit any day of the week. Bitch.
Good. Well, we've got plenty of dinosaurs to talk about today. This is in the Time of Dinosaurs, as, you know, attentive listeners may have picked up on.
It's also would be the title of the show.
Right. Yes. So attentive readers as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now this is our second these second Megamorphs.
Yes.
What are there? 4 of these?
There are 4.
Great. Now it looks like this was released in 6 different covers.
That is what I am seeing. I don't remember any covers other than the one I have, but that's what it says. And it would make sense because, there's also 6 different inner covers. I have the Marco one. It would be kind of weird if the inner cover was just Marco turning into a spider, which doesn't even happen in the book.
Well, what color is yours?
Mine is orange.
Okay. So yeah, sure. Maybe must have been 6 different ones.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now this is also one of the first Animorphs books I ever read. Because yeah, when I went out and bought books for the first time, I bought the most recent book, which was 20 at the time, and the most recent Megamorphs because it was the big one, it was the big event, and because it had dinosaurs. And what kid is gonna resist the dinosaur book, right?
Right.
So again, something to keep in mind, when I'm reading this, I have almost no knowledge of anything that's going on in Animorphs. The first time.
Yeah.
So just imagine little 8-year-old Will or whatever trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. I guess I didn't have any problems with it, but...
Yeah, I can see how there's a lot of stuff that you kind of got to get through to understand what the fuck's happening. It's funny because, it's like the premise of the book is a sci-fi premise that's that could be an entire book without the baggage of an entire sci-fi series. It's a lot. These books just have a lot going on in them. You know what? We should have just recorded. If we recorded later in the day, my voice will get better later in the day. But we started already, so
it's gonna be okay. I promise you.
I feel self-conscious about it.
It's okay.
All right.
Yeah. Well, if you have any questions, comments about John's voice, if you want to tell him how good or how bad he sounds, you can email us at theyerkyboys@gmail.com.
So these covers are just a bunch of eyes and some spots and shit.
Yeah, it's like animal textures, right? I see, what is that, a jaguar, I guess? That's not a leopard, right? That's a jaguar.
There's a jaguar, is the British say.
Oh, no, and then there's a leopard down in the other... Yeah, okay. And then there's a tiger and a giraffe for some reason. I don't think they ever morph... as far as I can remember, they never morph a giraffe in this series. I could be wrong on that.
It's a familiar pattern, They needed something distinct. What's in the top left?
Is it the same patterns on all the books?
It looks like it.
That's kind of weird because these are all orange animals. So on my orangey cover, it kind of looks normal.
Huh.
Now, on the picture for Seropedia, these colors are really oversaturated. My orangey one is not nearly that orange.
Well, it looks like there's a zebra up top. Or is that a tiger?
Oh, maybe there is a...
I just see stripes. So I just went.
Yeah, zebra. I don't know what the hell that is up there. And I don't know what the one over, right under K Applegate, I don't know what the hell that pattern is.
That's what I was asking about. Yeah, it looks like scales or spikes or something.
Yeah, or what's the word for it? When you've got those steel platforms and they've got all the raised bumps. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, right. Now in the middle of the cover it says in thought speak, no one knows who we are. 3 dots. Just want to point out 3 dots.
Mm-hmm. Break from tradition here.
So that's a little bit weird. 2 things I noticed that are not on this cover. Number 1, the title. Number 2, dinosaurs.
So here's the really interesting thing. I'm looking at my copy now, and I did not notice this. The stuff on Seropedia, it says no one knows who we are, ... That is not on my cover. Huh. My cover says, not in ThoughtSpeak, it just says in the Time of Dinosaurs, and has no other thing.
What the fuck?
I don't.
Is someone
What
on
is up with?
Seropedia trying to Mandela affect us?
There needs to be. I need like a real Animorphs lore master. You know, one of these like here's every piece of merchandise ever created, and let me go over it in detail. Right.
This
This is what I
says,
need.
I'm looking at the trivia section on the shit website Seropedia. Says the only Megamorphs have 7 versions of its cover, each with a different color front.
Okay, and they show 6 covers here.
So maybe you have the 7th.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go find all this stuff out myself. I'm going to devote my life to it, and I'm going to become like the Cyber Shell, but for Animorphs.
I see what the hell happened? My computer just turned into a... I see your cover. Your cover is on here as well.
Okay.
I swear to God, it just turned into it. I wasn't touching my mouse. This is
morphed.
Like the Elemist just made my computer show that photo.
The timeline has been rewritten.
But it's there. I see your cover looks sensible. Well, this one, the one I'm seeing shifts from purple at the top to orange and yellow at the bottom. That looks like the best of all worlds.
I guess it's a little purple, at least in the weird pattern that I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now, what do we think about whose eyes these are? Oh yeah, because it's really obvious which ones
worry,
are
folks.
Tobias and
We're gonna get
right?
to the full amount of time this week. You're gonna get your money's worth.
Yeah, we sure are. To me, it seems pretty obvious that the bottom 2 should probably be Rachel and Cassie, right?
Top right, that looks like Rachel to me.
Tobias wishes.
Yeah. Is that part of Axe's nose?
Yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
gotta be.
You do have noses, I see now. Yeah, it's not. I thought it was literally just their eyes, but it's actually their faces dissolving with the background. Yeah, I would say that's Cassie on the bottom, then Rachel.
They have feminine eyes.
Jake in the middle, and Marco top left.
This is the problem is that it's not actually clear to me which one's Jake and which one's Marco.
Well, here's how I determined it.
Yeah.
Jake's the protagonist, so he would be in the middle. He's the leader. They're gonna give him front and center spot.
I'm gonna switch him. I think the middle eyes are more mischievous looking. You know, that's the Marco eye to me.
You can't... The giveaway is the lashes. If we could see the lashes.
Yeah. It's too bad they're obscured by the animal patterns over them.
We do see their brows a little bit. Maybe you're right. Maybe that is Marco in the middle.
I'm looking at... Marco in the middle. I'm looking at the Marco on the inside of my book. And that Marco does look more like the middle.
Well, maybe. I don't like how the top 3 are spread out kind of evenly, and then on the very bottom third of the book, they have 3 more sets of eyes just smashed together. Like poor Cassie is like suffocating down there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they had to make room for the title at the top, so they couldn't quite spread them out.
It feels like they designed where the title goes first and then said we need to put the eyes around it. Because I think if you just made this artwork, you would never put the eyes that way if there wasn't stuff in the middle.
Yeah. No, I feel ya.
Now
these inner covers.
They can't possibly have much to say about just sets of eyes on this cover. They'll move on quickly this week for sure.
No way. I have a lot to say about those eyeballs.
Now, tell me what this is. Is the inside cover what I'm seeing on Seropedia, or is it what is it?
I mean, mine is pretty much exactly this bottom right one with Marco. It's just the thing that's Marco. That's mine.
Oh, okay. There's an image on Seropedia with dinosaurs in it, and I don't know what that is.
Oh, I don't know. I think I see that one, and I feel like that the one that I have here that I pulled was like a poster.
I see. That's got all their mid-morph
Yeah.
Cassie's looking
This should have been like the cover or and this is much better than any of the actual stuff on the book.
I need to understand.
Yeah.
In 1998, whose decision was it when someone said, we're going to write an Animorphs book with dinosaurs in it? How should we market this? Let's put no dinosaurs on the cover of the book. What the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah,
that's
don't
crazy.
Understand that. I gotta say, it does not. The book. I mean, there's no way this thing with the T-Rex.
It's all. It's not even
so much.
It's not even like it's the least interesting cover they've ever had.
That's probably true.
What the fuck? Whose fucking choice was this? It's terrible.
I agree.
So mad.
100%. These dinosaurs, yeah, it just would have been better. There's no question.
Dear God. Fuck. I mean, I don't
even
know.
These inner covers, right? Like, they're all mid-morph faces except Tobias and Axe, so they look fucked up, but there's just like, it's just like one straight-on face shot. Like, that's boring. Yeah. Could have done way better.
Boo.
I agree.
I'm skipping this book based on the cover.
Okay, let's move on. Book number 19, The Departure.
All right. So I loved Jack Nicholson in this one. No, so I shouldn't have. I gave it. All right, never mind. Back to Before.
Back to Before.
That's the quote there on the inside.
Yeah. Now
Back to Before.
I believe that is the subtitle for one of the other Megamorphs books. It's 4, right? Back to Before. I think you wouldn't know. I just listen.
What was that? A 4 joke?
No. Like, I think Megamorphs 4 might be Megamorphs 4 Back to Before. I might be wrong about that.
Okay.
Just like they had an idea and they used it, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the 4th one, is Back to Before.
That's weird. God, Axe has some serious bedroom eyes, doesn't he?
He does.
The top
his
ones,
stalk eyes, you're talking about how Elfangor's stalk eyes looked menacing. Axe's look goofy as fuck.
I noticed this on the last book as well. I think his eyes are looking much more cartoony. They look real. It looks like the crab in Moana. Like they're very silly.
Yeah. He's a weird guy, Axe.
They are. Like, if I had to talk to Axe in person, I would just be staring at those fucking things.
It wouldn't, not the nose, it'd be the...
the nose is fucking horrible. Axe is just one to talk about how human noses are disgusting. His nose is a fucking freak show. You kidding me? Fuck.
It's all about what you're used to, you know?
It makes sense if he's like, oh, human mouths are gross because he doesn't have one. But he's got a fucking nasty ass nose with like a slit in it and holes. Fuck, cover that thing up, man. Wear a fucking mask.
I think you're right, but
all right.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm gonna try to settle down now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, don't hurt your voice before we get into this. This might be our longest the longest we've gone before we started talking about the book.
Let's make this our longest episode yet.
We can do it. I believe in us.
All right. Go ahead. Let's get started.
Okay. So we open the book. Marco is sitting around. He's watching TV with his dad. And he sees, a news flash comes on. A nuclear sub has developed reactor problems, and it's, presumed sunk somewhere off the coast. So Marco excuses himself and calls together all the Animorphs. They figure they better help out before some people get hurt or fucked up or whatever. So they head to the beach and morph dolphin, and they roll out. They show up at the site of the sub. Luckily, they manage to find it. They grab a diver and they drag her over to it. So the rescue people, the rescue ships and everything. They find the sub. They're working on it. The Animorphs are watching it when all of a sudden they see everybody start running away real fast. And they're like, oh, fuck. And so they start running too when whatever the reactor problem was goes off and the nuclear submarine explodes. Kind of a wild intro here. They get right into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's at this point the Animorphs are basically just superheroes, I guess.
Yeah.
Because this is not Yerk related. They're just doing some vigilante shit.
Yeah, and I feel like normally Jake is like, we don't do this, right? We're not going to do... I guess something about a nuclear sub made him... I don't know.
It's weird. He's just like, I guess that's our job. And everyone is like, yeah, you're right. Let's go turn into dolphins. Like, it's weird. It is very timely, though, you know, for us to be talking about this right now. You've got the submarine, the Titanic submarines, right. And you've got Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so, nuclear subs, or regular subs.
Yeah, they're in the zeitgeist right now.
I kind of want a sandwich.
Oh, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh no, I want you to whatever you're saying here.
Okay. Yeah,
it's more important.
I'm noticing a trend with these books is the record scratch. Yep, that's me. Wondering how I got here. It feels like that's a thing for the openings now. And I'm going to comment on this. I know it's been happening for a while now, but every book mentions the Geds in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Yerks have taken over many races, including the Geds.
Right, yeah. She's softening you up for the Ged Chronicles.
Like, I'm sure Geds will come up again at some point, but it's just funny that she feels the need to throw another alien name in there, as like it feels like that should be very important, and you really don't need to ever know what a Ged is. Like even in the books with Geds, you don't really need to care what they do.
Yeah, and even going forward, I think the only real purpose the Geds serve is people being like, so what did Yerks infest before they conquered the Taxons and the Orc-Bishop? Like, that's it. That's what Geds are for. That answers that question for you.
We just gotta get Geds in there.
Do you not love Geds? I'm a Ged head.
I like that. Now I'm a Ged head.
Yeah, I thought you might be.
Didn't know I could be one before.
Now, on a point of interest to you, there is a part in here where somebody might have been Marco, but somebody in here makes a reference to Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm just going to tell you, this is not a typo or misprint in your version. In the official version, she has learned that Spider-Man does indeed have a hyphen.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I thought maybe there was a time before this with a hyphen, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Oh, that was the time where it was hyphenated because it was split between two lines. But then later in the same book, she uses it without the hyphen.
Even worse. That's even worse.
Yeah, no, pretty bad.
But that's good.
I'm hoping going forward we see the hyphen.
Yes, I am hopeful for that as well. It'd be good if she then started adding the hyphen to Batman too.
I don't know about that one.
I think there should be all these superhero names should be hyphenated. Daredevil, Superman. We need more hyphens. Yeah. It's fucked up.
Hulk.
I see. You would put it after the H.
Well, I put it after the U.
Oh, okay. Even better.
Right.
The Hulk.
Good job.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff in these early chapters. I like all of Marco's descriptions of everybody. You know, we get to start with Marco, so I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Tobias is still afraid of the water, so that's the character trait that we know about.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
we just reminded that it's there.
Yeah, he's grumpy until he turns into a dolphin.
Right. And then yeah, I guess we didn't get
Axe
to
is
the
disturbingly attractive, right?
right, which I did highlight. And I know we've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
it is so weird that in every book she continues to use disturbingly attractive.
Yeah.
Like that's just become the go-to for Axe's morph. It's you could just say like, he's kind of I don't know, maybe she's just trying to tell you about Marco's gay panic, but
Yeah, could be. What else do I have in here? Oh, the diver says blow 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 when they're dragging her through the water.
right, when that I did like that when they choose to kidnap a live human woman, which is a little bit frightening.
Well, they kind of lassie her, right?
Yeah, they use the word kidnap. It's not really what they do. And while we're in the water here, I have some questions because they mentioned that Axe is really good at swimming, or he can swim. They say he can swim well.
Okay, sure. I don't remember that.
Does that make sense? Like a horse can't swim, right? I guess he has forearms that would help him, but it doesn't.
They're very weak.
I'm trying to imagine an Axe swimming, and it doesn't seem like his body was really made for it.
Yeah, he'd be doing like the Andalite paddle.
Like he's got heavy hooves and stuff. He'd be sinking.
Now I want to find out if horses can swim.
Yeah, you look that up.
I'm not going to.
Go ahead and look that up right now.
Nah.
So I don't know. I was confused about that, but that's fine. Yes, it says Axe in his own body could swim quite well, actually. Quite well.
I guess he could swim quite well. Maybe he uses his tail like a propeller.
Yeah, I forgot about his tail. That would be pretty good. They also, of course, they specifically mention dolphins. One thing you can say about dolphins, there is nothing they can't do in the water. We know that to be true.
Yeah, we do know that to be true. Dolphins will do any kind of fucked up shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they will.
All right, calm down over there.
Uh-oh. I'm feverish.
So can we, are we good on this nuclear submarine disaster here?
Yeah, and then it explodes.
Right, it blew up. So they all get knocked out. They regain consciousness, and it's, before it was like all rainy and stormy, but now it's sunny, and things seem, a little bit off. Because for example, there's a volcano over on the horizon. And as they're taking in their surroundings, they see some real, like, big things show up. And they don't say what they are here, but I'm just going to level with y'all. It's dinosaurs. These are the first. Well, I don't think they're technically considered dinosaurs, but you know what I mean, right? Like those big water things. They are, specifically, we'll find out eventually, they are elasmosauruses and a Chronosaurus. Wow. The elasmosaurus chase them, and then while they are running, a Chronosaurus comes up from below, and it swallows Rachel and Tobias whole. There is a pretty, like, long and fairly graphically described, what I can only say is a vore scene. They're, like, in the stomach being digested and crushed in the muscles and stuff.
Not the last vore scene in this book.
Not the last vore scene in this half of the book.
Right.
That we will talk about today. But they're getting vored. They try to demorph and remorph to escape. And, as Tobias is losing consciousness and failing to get out of his, regular bird form, he reflects on the fact that these are dinosaurs, which the other Animorphs have not figured out yet at this point somehow. So, let's talk about this vore and these dinosaurs and everything.
Yeah, I mean, should we get into the dinosaurs now, or should we wait until they're fully unveiled?
I mean, we can talk about the dinosaurs now. I want to talk about these elasmosaurs and chronosaurs.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. So we find out this is squarely set in the Cretaceous period.
Late Cretaceous, yes.
Right, sure. And unlike Jurassic Park, they're not like throwing in just the hits. Like these are, it's like, because normally I would think this would be like a plesiosaur, the thing I know the name of.
So this is a plesiosaur. This Elasmosaurus. A plesiosaur is this is like a the plesiosaurs are like the order, and Elasmosaur is the genus. So this is like a specific type of plesiosaur.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know what like chronosaur, whatever you said. Like these are deep cuts, I feel.
Yeah. So these are like the chronosaurs. Sometimes you see their like skeletons because they're really big. They got like the long mouths and short necks. You know those guys. Those like big sea things with the really long snouts. And
I don't know if I know, but sure, I can picture what you're saying.
Okay.
I can imagine a dinosaur.
Yeah, I knew sort of about these things as a kid, partly because of this book. And I was like, I got to learn what these dinosaurs are. But I did a little bit of like touching up on these guys in particular for the podcast to make sure that I would be like, okay, I sort of know what I'm talking about here.
Well, we find out Tobias was a dinosaur kid.
Yeah.
Were you a dinosaur kid?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I was the kid who walked back and forth in my room going yee all day.
I mean, I think every kid, certainly every boy, loved dinosaurs.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do think I was toward the more obsessive, I know all this stuff and I have to know all the whatever end of that. But yeah, who wasn't to some degree a dinosaur kid?
Yeah, I mean, they are pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
They're great.
Like, it's one thing to be Tobias and be like, that's an Elasmosaurus and that's a Chronosaurus, but it's kind of another thing for the other Animorphs to be like, I don't know what that is.
That is weird. Yeah, I guess the idea is they're thinking, oh, this is Visser 3 and a morph, or it could be like an alien, like they don't fucking know. They've seen weird shit in outer space.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a note I had a little bit later, but I don't know. We'll just get to it now, whatever.
Sure.
We are, because it is still relevant here. We are kind of, for the first quarter or whatever or so of this book, we are pretty much a step ahead of the characters, right? The book is called Dinosaur. We know there's dinosaurs. We know what's happening here. Yeah. We're pretty sure they've gone back in time. And the characters don't really figure that out, but that's never the best thing in a story, right? When you know something the characters don't. And the other thing though is the thing that's frustrating about it. This has happened to them before.
Well, it's only happened to Jake.
Oh, right.
And it didn't really happen to him. He just remembers it.
He never told the others about this.
I don't know. He told Axe about it. But Axe already knew that Sauriorips could happen, and Axe actually wouldn't know what a dinosaur is necessarily.
Well, they sure don't. Axe brings up Sauriorips without really explaining them, like he did in that book.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's some presumed knowledge or understanding, but yeah, it just, I don't know. It feels like of all the weird shit they've seen, you'd think they might be like, yeah, maybe we went back in time. It's just like a possibility. But I guess it's not, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not being fair. Like maybe you wouldn't assume that, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird to, I definitely get that not being your first impulse, right? But like something has happened, and when you see what is, I mean, Marco says, like, is that like the Loch Ness monster or whatever? When the elasmosaurs are coming out, like at some point you'd think you'd be like, I mean, that's a dinosaur though,
right? Yeah, yeah, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and they also have this volcano here, um, which I find kind of interesting. Because I don't. It's weird how we associate volcanoes with dinosaurs, right? It's like if you want to do like, oh, this is the dinosaur land. Or at least when I was a kid, you'd always picture a volcano there.
Sure.
Now I don't think the world was any more volcanic at this time than it is now. So I mean, it's not like there were just volcanoes everywhere.
Yeah, well, you had to, it adds a sense of danger, and I guess because volcanoes are dormant mostly now, you kind of like you just assume, well, back then they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking because this was an outdated theory of dinosaur extinction too. Like before the like asteroid hitting was a consensus, it was like, well, maybe there was a lot of volcanic activity or something, and that's what caused like the cooling and the die-offs or whatever. All the ash in the air.
I was wondering specifically with the dinosaurs, how much of this is how much of these descriptions are still accurate. Because I don't think she talks about a lot of feathers. In fact, there's a specific scene where there's feathers that go away, if I recall.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of outdated things in here. It's not as bad as it could be, but yeah, there's a lot of like the idea that dinosaurs were often feathered, the idea that I don't even know if it was. I think when this book was written, dinosaurs were not considered avians. It was like birds evolved from dinosaurs, and not like there are the avian dinosaurs, birds, and the non-avian dinosaurs, as we would think of it today.
Right. Yeah. So Jurassic Park 2 came out in '97. So we're just to give an idea of what we think about dinosaurs at this time. That's very much what we think.
Yeah. Now, I will say we haven't gotten there yet, but at the end of the book, Tobias actually writes a note to the reader that says, if there's a note to the reader on the last page of the book where Tobias says, if there's any mistakes in here, then listen, who are you going to believe? Me, who was actually there, or a bunch of scientists who are just trying to figure it out?
That's real?
That's real. That's the last page of the book.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really good. I think I'm pretty sure that's there because she realized after she wrote it, she made like something that was a mistake at the time, like something was in the wrong time period or something.
Well, the great thing, the genius of Jurassic Park is that any mistakes you can just chalk up to the genetic mutations. Just like, oh, they just didn't bring them back right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
they fucked it up, that frog DNA or whatever.
Yeah, right. If you're going straight back in time, yeah, I guess that's what they looked like.
Yep. Listen,
this vore scene, I think, is genuinely very horrifying.
It really is. Like rereading it now, it really is vorish. It's interesting because, like, as a kid, I'm just like, yeah, this is weird and strange. I'm reading it now and I'm like, this reads like erotic vore fan fiction, which, as we all know, is terrifying.
We should, for any listeners out there who don't know what vore is,
they know.
There might be some. It's not everybody knows.
Okay.
It's everybody knows. Fetish that involves the desire to be swallowed alive, usually by a giant person or creature, and to be slowly digested inside of them.
Right.
There's variations. Some people maybe just want to be in the mouth.
Or like live in the stomach and not be digested.
Right. There's different things, but that's the gist of it.
There's like anal vore. There's all kinds of stuff.
Okay, that one is new to me.
Wait, you don't know that like I came out to I had that copy pasta that's like I came out to my family that I was into anal vore, and the guy like throws a big anal vore party You haven't seen this one? It's really good.
Okay. Anyway, clearly this scene had an impact on you as a child.
Yeah, clearly.
Led you down a dark path. Much darker than mine. But that's okay. We don't judge on this podcast.
Okay.
We welcome all kinds of folks, whatever you're into.
I'm glad.
We don't kink shame or anything.
Well, I might a little.
I did. Look, I'm sorry that I'm always coming in with the annoying. Actually, why didn't they? If they were smart, they could just do this and avoid all of the problems.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm sorry. It's my role. It's just who I am now on this show.
Yeah.
But they come back and they're like, they keep talking about how, I don't know how long we were out for. Oh no. What if we're stuck in the morph? Why don't you just demorph and then morph back? And also, doesn't Axe have an internal clock? Ask him. Nobody asked him.
We're going to find out Axe's internal clock is fucked up. But yes, they should have still asked him.
Yeah, but he doesn't know. He doesn't even know, like, it's been an hour?
I don't know.
He can't still count in his head? I don't know how his shit works.
Yeah, it's not clear how the thing works. There's something about, like, the rotation of the planet and the position or whatever that fucks him up, and it's not calibrated right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I also had another thought in this scene, but it sort of happens later. So
okay, that's reasonable. Yeah. Now I actually wanted to show you up on nitpickiness, so that you wouldn't be the obnoxious one this episode.
Thank God.
Yeah. So the Elasmosaurus was generally found around North America. So if they didn't change locations, then this would be that would be reasonable, right? If they were still off the coast of what would turn into California, you would find Elasmosaurus there. Now they could have changed locations with the Saria rip, potentially, right? Who knows how this works, right? If you throw them through time, you could throw them through space. The Kronosaurus was found in an inland sea in Australia, and as far as I know, there was no overlap between Kronosaurus and Elasmosaurus, which leads me to ask the question, where the heck are we? You know? Just a question I had.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question.
Now, I also think it's very funny, because I did not know this, but the name of that inland sea in Australia is apparently the Eromanga Sea, which I think is really funny as a terminally online freak.
Because it sounds like manga?
Well, Eromanga would be like an erotic manga.
Oh, like ERO?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. What are you doing?
I like when people are bad, weird, degenerate freaks. It entertains me, and so I learn a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, okay, sure. Sure, you just study the degenerate freaks. That's all. You're just interested in them. You're not one of them, though.
Well, I am, just not in that particular way.
Okay.
You'll never find out the ways in which I'm a degenerate freak, because I won't bring those up.
Right.
I'll steer around them.
Right. All right. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's a scary part, but I'm ready to move on.
Yeah. So, okay. So the others are going to find out that they're in dinosaur land, but as you said, it's going to take a while. While these things are fighting over Rachel or fighting the Elasmosaurus, the Kronosaurus, they're fighting over who's going to get to eat the rest of the Animorphs. So Jake, Cassie, Marco, and Axe take that time to escape. They get to shore, trying to figure out what's going on. They're stumbling around the jungle, because there's like a jungle there. There's a bit where Cassie almost gets eaten by an enormous crocodile. And then they have like the Jurassic Park moment, right? Where they see a baby dinosaur. It's some kind of sauropod, right? And the camera pans and the music swells, and then a T-Rex shows up and eats it, and they all run away. Um, so I don't know how many notes you have on this section here, but because we sort of started to go over this, but
yeah, well, it's at this point that I guess I'm gonna. I want to talk about. I don't know. Should we? We haven't really talked about the structure of this book overall. Should we save that for the end?
go for it. Yeah.
Well, it's just I don't. We didn't. We haven't even mentioned yet. I mean, people listening, if even you might assume if you've listened to the other Megamorphs or if you have read it, it's another split POV. So each chapter is a different character.
Yes.
But if you recall that the first Megamorphs was a bit more. I don't know, how would you describe it? Scattered? It was more confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot more like jumping back and forth through time, a lot more like we're going to tell the same scene from 3 different perspectives. And in this one, it's more like, okay, Rachel and Tobias got eaten, so we'll have a Tobias chapter and a Rachel chapter about getting eaten. And then the others are going to explore the shore, so we'll have a couple chapters about exploring the shore. And so it's bouncing back and forth between perspectives, but like it's all chronological within them.
Yeah, it
Does
makes
that make
more
sense what I said?
Yeah, it did. I think it did.
Okay. Okay, good.
And also the fact that we've referenced the Forgotten already, which is it seems like it's going to end up being the most frequently referenced book on our show besides the one we're discussing. But we also just had The Decision. So this is our 3rd book and 2nd in a row where the plot has been a crazy sci-fi thing makes the Animorphs go to another weird location. Which does feel like it's a bit much for when we just did that. I don't know, but I always like that because I get kind of bored of just like hanging out in California suburbs. But I don't know. Does that become a thing? Does that happen a lot going forward, or are these?
I would say it becomes much more frequent that they find excuses to bring them to different places. I don't know how often the like 2 books in a row thing happens, but
yeah,
we will see more just like. I guess, and it won't be in the mid-20s. I can think of a 2-book stretch where that happens. So, but yeah, we'll see more of it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's fun. I'm not offended by it. But now, how about this? So everyone right now thinks Tobias and Rachel are dead.
Yes.
Or at least they're pretty sure. They're like, they're tough. Maybe they made it out, but probably not.
Yeah, there is some scenes of like grieving over that here.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Is it enough grieving?
I'm not sure it is. It's not clear to me. Like, because I can see what they're going for sometimes. There are some moments like them having to drag Cassie away that do work. And there are some bits with like, Marco justifying, it comes a little later, where he's like, anything that wanted to kill Rachel would have to be meaner than Rachel, and we know that's not even possible. And there are some bits where it's like, we're too concerned with what's going on right now to, you know what I mean? Like, you got to deal with what's in front of you. But yeah, I feel like in some of the quieter moments when they're stumbling around or whatever, maybe there should be more focus on that. And that could be just an artifact of the fact that you, the reader, know they're not dead. So are you going to have the patience for? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's a tough thing that I notice in lots of media when the characters think someone's dead, and you have to have a scene of them, being upset that the character's dead, but that if the character were really dead, that scene would be way different. Like it would be way more dramatic and sincere. So you have to walk this line of like, well, they think he's dead, so they're gonna be. It's like, I don't know. I'm thinking of when Indy falls off a cliff in Last Crusade.
Yeah, I just rewatched that. I really like that one though because it doesn't really last long enough for it to be like it's
Right.
just long enough they're still like in their shocked reaction so that when the punchline happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not, they play it up a little bit. It goes on for a
Yeah.
minute, but
Yeah.
yeah. So but just to say that's a hard thing I don't know what the best way to handle that is necessarily, but I did think they should have played up a little more that like, oh, we just don't have time to process this. When
Yeah.
it felt like this is like, I don't know, your two best
Yeah.
friends are dead.
Because that's the problem, is that they do have time, right? Like when this
Yeah.
T-Rex comes in and eats the dinosaur, when they're running away, when they're getting attacked by the crocodile, yeah, they don't. But there's also a lot of scenes in here where they're just like on the beach, like, something's up. Where's the boardwalk? What's up with this giant footprint? You know, like there could be more here.
It should. I think that would have been better if they were like borderline in denial that they were all just like they're gonna make it. If Jake was like, "We'll meet up with them later. I'm sure they're okay." I think that would be like they haven't fully accepted it. But instead it feels like they're just like, "Yeah, they're probably dead." Oh well.
But maybe not. They're tough. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I did think when they got on land, they say like, "Oh, looks like a tornado hit this place." I thought maybe a Valik was there.
No Valiks. Listen,
maybe.
they live on.
You don't know.
Which moon was it? One of the moons of Saturn?
There could have been a Valik there.
I don't think there would have been a Valik.
Can you prove there wasn't?
Well, I think it was a Titanosaur is what I think it was. Because that would have been the dominant sauropod species at this time. Or genus, I guess, not species, or whatever it was. The dominant kind of sauropod would have been a Titanosaur.
So anyway, to answer your question from earlier, yes, I had a few things to say about this scene.
Okay, good. How'd you feel about the line, "That was one big honking crocodile"?
Love that. Had that highlighted.
That's good. I love the phrase "big honking."
Yeah, kind of reminded me of our old friend.
The one that popped out of Rachel?
The one that popped out
in
of
book
Rachel?
12 when she was allergic.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah. Wait, a thing pops out of her?
Yeah, she like what the hell's the word? She like vomits out the crocodile. I remember the Andalite word. Because she's allergic.
Right. I mean, I remember the allergy. I didn't remember that specific gross.
How are we supposed to talk about that if you don't even remember what happened in the books, like a weird obsessive little nerd?
I was crikey, I was thinking about me, mate. The crocodile hunter.
Oh shit, we have a special guest back.
Oh, just wanted to give a good day to the Australian listeners out there. If you're excited reading about this honking crocodile, just remember, that when you get...
You can do it, Steve.
Oh no, I'm fading. I can only be in this world for so long.
No.
My injury hurts.
Steve.
Please free me from this.
Someone get that stingray off him.
Oh, damn.
It was a little less insightful than last time.
Well, he's caught in between realms.
There's a bit of a crisis there, I guess.
I think he needs like a Ed and Lorraine Warren type to try to mend his spirit so that he can move on.
Okay. That makes sense.
And also they speculate maybe they're in Madagascar.
They do speculate that. I don't.
Well, they say they want to find people, and Marco says, "Too bad they'll speak Madagascarese."
Yeah. Now, of course, we all know that people did cohabitate with dinosaurs. You know, the dragon myths of old were based off of dinosaurs, which were all actually plant eaters when God originally made them 6,000 years ago. But they didn't go. When he ordered Noah to make the ark, he didn't want him making room for the dinosaurs, so they all died out in the flood.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like so obvious. I don't even know why you said that.
Yeah. I just wanted our listeners to understand. I think there are some parts in this book where they talk about millions of years, which of course we all know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, do you think Madagascarese is like Afro? You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
I was wondering if it was like that. I also really love the way that Cassie or Jake, somebody says, I could see bright, buttery sunlight through the trees.
I don't remember this line.
I love that. Bright, buttery sunlight.
I want some butter. Like on bread?
Oh, sure. I was just thinking just the stick.
You ever just like mash up a stick of butter in like sugar and then just eat it?
God, no, but now I'm gonna.
It's really fucking good. It makes you feel so bad about yourself, but it's really good.
Sounds better than peanut butter on graham crackers. All right.
Well, okay. I guess they figure out there's dinosaurs. We're all on the same page now. Meanwhile,
Literally.
Tobias and Rachel, they're being eaten by this Chronosaurus, right? So Rachel morphs to grizzly bear in its stomach, and the first thing that she does is she rips through like its flesh and internal organs and rips into its lungs, so that she and Tobias can breathe. And eventually she digs her way out through, the flesh and gore, and digs a hole through its body. And when she pops out the other side, she finds that the Chronosaurus has beached itself in its agony. Tobias is alive, but his wing is broken. He tries demorphing and remorphing, but that does not heal his injuries. There's something about the time travel that's preventing his injuries from being healed. So Rachel has to make a splint for his wing with a stick and some fabric for from her morphing outfit so that his broken wing can heal. So how do you feel about this little gimmick put in here so that Tobias can't just go flying around and find the others?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I'm so stupid. I didn't even really think about it. I was like, oh no, he's injured.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheap, but I like it because I like the Tobias and Rachel time.
I agree. Now, I actually have word of God on why this happened on the technical. So what it is that she wrote a whole bunch of chapters about Tobias and Rachel where they couldn't get back because his wing was broken, and then at the last second she was like, "Oh shit, I forgot that demorphing heals your injuries," and she didn't have time to change it, so she just was like, "Oh, it probably has something to do with the time travel or something. I don't know."
Oh my god!
That is word of God how this part got written.
Okay, that I don't like.
It's very funny.
That really annoys me. Because it's really not explained well. He's just like, it hurts too much. Why? What? Like, I was assuming that would come into play maybe at some point.
He demorphs and remorphs, and it just doesn't fix it's an effect of the Sario rip. If you want the technical, like the mathematics to explain it, you'll have to ask Axe.
Well, you ruined it for me. I now hate it. That sucks. It does seem like she forgets things like that somewhat frequently.
Yes. Yeah. I'm pretty sure she just writes whatever the fuck she thought up and doesn't really think about it and just jams shit in as she goes.
Right. I do like the image of Bear Rachel tenderly carrying Bird Tobias in her arms. I think that's cute.
It is good. I'll agree.
I want an illustration of them walking on the beach. And when there was only a set of bear prints and no talons, that's when I was carrying you.
That's right.
I also had another question. If Tobias, she suggests that he just morphed into a human. Would he have clothes? Because he's a hawk by default. So does he did he at some point have to morph into a boy and put on a morphing outfit? And now that's the same morphing outfit.
They've never mentioned him being naked when he goes boy in between, so presumably he has gotten a morphing outfit in that morph somehow.
Yeah,
and Axe did it too, right?
Yeah, Axe does it too all the time. Yeah, they never. I mean, I think this is just we just don't want to mention them being naked, but technically, it seems like they should be.
Yeah, I mean, it always has seemed like they should be. The morphing outfits don't make any fucking sense.
No, do they have to wash those things? Does the outfit's DNA get refreshed?
I mean, this really does seem like you could just take off the morphing outfit, right? And then morph something and morph back to a human, take it off again, and then just end up with 100 copies of this morphing outfit, right? Could you not do this?
Yeah, there's a lot of strange questions surrounding that. Another question for Axe.
Yeah, Axe needs to bring up the Z space inverse cubed shit that he talks about later.
But anyway, this is Tobias's fucking wet dream over here.
Yeah.
He loves this. He loves this.
Oh, yeah. He loves this for sure. Being tenderly cared for by Rachel.
This is the classic, once again, Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. The lady looking after the man. And this time it's a bird, but still
right.
Still romantic.
Right. And there's also a bit in this where she's like tearing the strips off and she's like, I don't know, this is a little bit scandalous. And Tobias is like, I would never even look. Yeah, he's listen, Tobias is looking respectfully, okay?
Tobias, I feel like, is this close to putting a fedora on.
That's what we need. We need you to Photoshop a fedora on a hawk.
Yes. Rachel.
Rachel. The respected loner.
That's him. That's him in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I do, like, I remember this wing scene from being a kid. This scene always felt so painful to me, where she's trying to set his broken bone. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those things that stuck with me.
Yeah, wing bones, unlike tail feathers, do not grow back.
Right. You have to put them in a splint to heal them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah. Have you ever broken a bone?
I have never sprained anything.
I have also never broken a bone.
That is shocking.
I'm a very careful kind of guy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, lucky us. Yeah, I don't like pain. So whatever I can do to avoid it, I do.
Makes sense.
It's just the kind of guy I am.
Yeah. Now, also on a Rachel character note, as far as Rachel being like in pain and everything, there's a part at the very beginning where she's being eaten by the monster and she's like dying and being digested and she's describing herself getting all fucked up and then she says, I was getting mad. To me, that's very Rachel. I feel like not a lot of characters would describe themselves actively dying and then be like, you know how that made me feel? Mad.
I'm pissed. God damn it.
Yeah.
Dying right now? Fuck
you.
God damn.
Meanwhile, Tobias is being a depressing piece of shit. He's talking about being a dinosaur kid, and he's like, oh yeah, I was staying with my uncle, and he liked to drink. He'd sit in his lazy boy and start yelling at the TV and cursing and yelling at me if I made any noise. So I used to go into my room and sit there playing dinosaur.
Yeah. Classic Tobias. I love these two. Give me the adventures of Tobias and Rachel in every book.
Yeah, they're really good.
This is what I want.
Yeah, need more Rachel and Tobias.
You know what's great about dinosaurs?
Go ahead.
What I love about them is it was 65 million years ago, right? Dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah.
I just think what's neat about that is that a million is such a long time that it's like 65 million. That's always the right number while we're alive. You don't got to worry about it changing. That stays the same. You know, some things it's like, oh, how many years ago the Civil War happened? It's like, oh, that's that fluctuates. But 65 million doesn't matter if you've got like a couple thousand change in there or anything. It's going to be 65 million for a pretty long time. You're good on that.
Now, you know what's really crazy about that? The 65 million number, the end of the Cretaceous period, was closer to today than it was to the Jurassic.
I thought this was going to be a joke. Like,
no, this is true.
Back to the Future came out closer to today than to the 50s. Or whatever.
Feel old yet?
Yeah. That is pretty fucking wild, though.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not the way that I imagine the geologic time scale in my head, but
dinosaurs, they were around.
They sure were around for a while.
They did a lot.
Yeah.
Also, they do say, here's my critique to Tobias's critique. When he says, Jurassic Park was slightly inaccurate.
Right.
Some of the dinosaurs they showed were actually from this time, from the Cretaceous.
Right.
Jurassic Park wasn't named. They just gave it a catchy name. It wasn't in the context of the movie. It wasn't like they didn't claim that these dinosaurs were only in the Jurassic. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's being
like,
kind of a dweeb.
It's like going to like if there was like a, I don't know. I had something, but I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know either. Can't help you.
It's gonna be like if you went to like Six Flags or something, and they had like a bunch of decorations, and you were like, "There's a lot more than 6 flags in this park, right?" Like I'm looking here, they got some flags over here too. I'm counting like a couple dozen flags. It's fuck off, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there is a T-Rex on the Jurassic Park logo. Well, that's only the movie logo, not the theme park logo.
I thought it was also the theme park logo in the movie. Like I thought it was on the gate. Maybe I'm just an idiot.
No, it definitely. By the time you get to Jurassic World, they do find merch with that logo on it. But I don't remember if that's in the original or not.
Yeah, no, I don't remember either.
But I guess it's canon now that it was.
Sure, why not?
Speaking of T-Rexes. Oh yeah, speaking of T-Rexes.
That T-Rex ate that dinosaur, and now it's chasing after the other Animorphs, Jake and company. So there's like a big action scene. Marco's like running around a tree with it. It's like eating through the tree, and he's like, jumping between it. He goes Osprey to try to, both get away and maybe be too small, but it doesn't matter. The T-Rex is after him now, and it's going to get him. But while the T-Rex is distracted with him, Axe manages to like come up and kill it, right? Because I guess if he gets in the first strike with the tail while the T-Rex isn't looking, he can kill it. Somehow he did this. I don't know how he reached this thing. This doesn't make sense to me, but somehow Axe killed it with his tail. So, they're gonna like have to make do going forward, right? Cassie is like the she's the outdoors woman type. You remember she was the like, oh, you suburban boys don't know how to fish. So, she kind of takes charge. She's like, Axe, cut up that T-Rex corpse. We can eat its meat and we can make shoes from its skin and tendons. So she's like going to be, so that's, I don't know.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
I feel like I don't know about some of these stopping points that I've made here, but whatever. We won't get into that.
It's great. You're doing a good job. And Cassie really is your kind of woman. No doubt about it.
It's a little now. You really think she can fucking sew shoes on the fly here, right?
Well, she's like, she's like doing surgery on raccoons and shit, right?
I guess that's true. Because I was just like, it's one thing to know how to fish or build a fire, but like properly smoke meat into jerky, like not just cook it but smoke it, or like the proper way to like sew in line. She's like sewing the shoes with the ligaments. Like, how many fucking survival skills does she have here? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I believed
I
it all.
guess. Okay. I mean, yeah, as a suburban boy, right? It's like, I don't know. She
Yeah,
could probably do
right,
it.
right. I'm
Why
like,
not?
yeah, she's smarter than I am.
Yeah, she knows. I
I
guess she
get
does.
it.
She sews up animals. Why not?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I can see it, and she's got help.
Yeah.
I think it makes. I think you could
Sure.
be. She was probably in Girl Scouts. Her parents are like big outdoors people. They probably taught her this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I could see it. I don't know if the help's going to be that helpful. Like, you think Jake is going to be any help whatsoever?
Well, I was mainly thinking of Axe using his tail
That's
to
true.
cut pieces.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
That's pretty good. So I mean, we could talk about Axe. As you said, the T-Rex. He kills
I
it.
can't quite picture how he kills this T-Rex.
I do like though. This one I noticed, unlike the Tobias thing, that immediately after he kills it, he makes very clear he's like, "Oh, that was just a fluke. We can't. I probably can't do that again." Like that really felt like Kay Applegate just being like, "Oh shit, I can't just make Axe be a T-Rex killer. There has to still be suspense." So
Yeah.
he's got to be like, "No, no, 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 no. They're still dangerous. I swear, they're still dangerous."
Yeah, you don't want to make Andalites too OP here, right?
I don't know. I think an Andalite could take on a T-Rex. This doesn't seem that crazy to me.
I mean, what's the reach on the Andalite's tail? Could it even get to, like, a T-Rex's vital organs? Because
Aren't
those are going to be, like, 10
T-Rexes
feet off the ground.
Are they? I thought, how tall is a T-Rex?
I always thought T-Rexes were, like, 20 feet tall or something.
But don't they they lumber around like with their head real low to the ground? Doesn't it seem like they do that?
I could look at some
A
actual
T-Rex
numbers here.
up to 40 feet in length and 12
Yeah.
feet in height.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's a lot shorter than I thought. Yeah, so he could probably reach. Yeah, okay. I can
For
see
sure.
this now.
Sue measured 12 to 13 feet tall.
Maybe this was Sue. You think this was Sue?
I think this might have been Sue. check those fossils for lacerations.
Yeah, for tail cuts.
Yeah, so like I could see it, and Andalites are also like good fighters, and a T-Rex is strong, but it's compared to Andalites are still kind of big, and they have a scorpion tail. Like I feel like it's not you got at least like a 50-50 shot at these things.
Yeah. Okay, I can see it now because I was thinking like its organs would be a little too high off the ground for him to reach. But I guess if it only gets maximum 13 feet high, then he'll be able to. I can see it. I can see it.
It's not like a sure win, but I think you got a chance.
Yeah.
Like Elfangor, like a trained Andalite, I think could definitely take him on.
I feel like Axe is pretty good because he's like seen enough combat at this point that he's probably like pretty
True.
good, even though he never finished his train. It's like Luke, right?
right. Yeah, it is like Luke. I like. There's another. I like that. There's a little tip of a cap to another Spielberg film here.
Which one is that?
Don't know if you caught that. Well, when the T-Rex is chasing them, it says, "Jaws opened 4 feet wide." And Jaws is the first word of the sentence, so it's capitalized, but also maybe capitalized because it's like the movie Jaws.
Right. Steven Spielberg. Known for
Munich.
Jaws.
Right.
And?
And? Duel.
Jurassic Park. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the one.
Sugarland Express. Right? Okay. So anyway,
how about this T-Rex going grunch, grunch, scree, crunch when it was eating through the tree?
Really good.
Okay.
Do we need to get into do we know about T-Rex behavior? Is this realistic? Is this accurate?
I don't know enough about T-Rex behavior, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know for a long time there was that whole debate on whether they were like scavengers or hunters. I do think that they were, like, the current theories do say that they would have hunted actively. but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know, but it doesn't seem any. I don't remember anything sticking out to me that was particularly unbelievable. But
yeah, it's the other than just like at a certain point, it's like this dinosaur is coming after you. How the heck are we for real here? The tree's in the way,
right.
but you gotta have them get out somehow, right?
Yes.
It's fine.
Axe refers to the difference between dry humor and wet humor.
Oh yeah, Axe has a lot of good. The Axe perspective here is much better than in Megamorphs 1, where she didn't know.
Yeah.
Like she's still got that Axe voice from last book.
Yeah. I think our show is wet humor. I think that's what we do.
That's my wet humor.
Yeah, right. And yeah. No, go on. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what about when Axe says, he slapped his hand on my shoulder. It is a thing humans do to indicate friendship or congratulations. Sometimes they do it to kill small insects called mosquitoes.
Yeah, that's good. He's got firsthand experience with that. First hoof experience.
That's true. First tail.
And this is also where we officially learn that this was a Sario rip.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, we don't really know, though, why there was a Sario rip.
Well, there was a big explosion like last time.
Right.
Whenever there's a big explosion, you can have a Sario rip. Well, you see, in an equation where t is time, z is zero space, and a w inversely cube represents the nexus of, says Axe at some point before he's cut off.
Yeah, which is a shame, because if he'd only finished that sentence, I feel like I'd understand it.
Right, I'd be able to solve this equation. I just don't know what's being nexusized.
But it's like, okay, Sario rip. Hey, cool. Let's do it. Just a lot of shit just blowing up these days, making Sario rips. It's just the thing that's happening.
Sario rips.
It's just surprising it's not happening more.
It is a little weird it's not happening more. I gotta say. Or like the rescue diver team, they aren't here, as far as I know. Maybe they got all eaten. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they got far enough away, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, they must have. I don't understand how these keep. Now, that being said, I will say for this book, we don't know yet because we're only in the first half. But this book does happen. Right, this book is not like The Forgotten, where at the end it turns out it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that does make me happier with this one.
Well, I've got a question.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But you know what my question is.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, this happens. So did the decision happened. So did they not get to keep Lyran morphs in the decision? We gonna lose these fucking dinosaur morphs they're gonna get?
We are gonna lose these dinosaur morphs.
This is fucking bullshit.
It is. Now, I thought I saw somewhere Tay Applegate actually saying, because I was looking around at some other stuff that she had been saying, and I saw her say somewhere that they actually did keep the Lyran morphs, but I don't remember them ever using them again for any reason. So I don't know on that one anymore. Just, we could forget about that. I don't know what the hell's going on with those Lyran morphs.
Yeah, okay.
But they definitely do not keep these dinosaur morphs.
That is so fucked, man. Just fuck off.
Wouldn't that be so? It would be so cool if they showed up at the next, Yerk Pool thing, and they showed up as fucking dinosaurs.
We need like Transformers had Beast Wars. We need just give me a whole series that's like another generation of Animorphs, but they're dinosaur morphers. That's a whole series.
And then everyone would know they were Andalites too, right? It would be like, Visser 3 would be like, where on earth, I want to acquire one of those. Where can I get one? And all the humans would be like, oh, they've been extinct for millions of years. The Andalites must have Jurassic Parked some DNA out of an insect with their superior technology. You'd be like, well, they can't be human kids because they couldn't have done that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe they used the time matrix.
Right. They could have. There sure are a lot of ways for them to go back in time if they want to.
The Elemist gave them one. Yeah.
I feel like every time there's a Sario rip, I'm just going to be like, the Elemist was probably involved in this shit somewhere.
Yeah, I think Sario rips are just like, I don't know, the Elemist coughs and a Sario rip appears.
I was about to say that's an Elemist fart, right? He's ripping over there.
Well, I'm a little
ripping one.
I don't like to be that crude, personally.
Okay, that makes sense.
I like to think that our show is a little classier than that.
Right, you're a polite, classy guy.
Yes, if you want to talk about like cum or something, that's different. Maybe it's every time the Elemist jacks off. Okay.
Thanks for that. I'm really happy about that.
Just the Elemist. Anyway.
Are you about to ask if the Elemist fucks?
No, well, I guess. I mean,
well, I'll just tell you, we have an Elemist Chronicles.
Right.
And so there may be a canonical answer to the question, does the Elemist fuck?
All right. I'm going to log that one away for now.
Yeah, you make sure you keep that one.
I'll post that
in your back of your head, yeah.
Right there. Okay. Do we think maybe Cassie's a serial killer? Maybe that's what's going on here?
That could be.
She doesn't know a lot about cutting things up and just making... Really, to me, the part that was scary was let's make shoes out of its skin. Like, all right, Cass. Jesus.
Yeah, well, they know they don't have shoes because they're in their morphing outfits, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, they make a fire. They cook their Tyrannosaurus meat, right? And they hunker down for the night and keep watching shifts. But meanwhile, Rachel and Tobias are making slow going of it, right? So they do not have Tyrannosaurus shoes. So Rachel's feet are getting like shredded and bloody on this like sawgrass. And she has to move slow so Tobias doesn't move around too much because he's perched on her shoulder. They can see the smoke from the fire that the others are using to cook their T-Rex meat, so they head off in that direction, but, night is falling. And they find themselves near a herd of Triceratops, and all of a sudden Tobias realizes they're in the middle of a Deinonychus pincer attack, right? These Triceratops are being hunted, except that actually they're about to get clever girled, right? Because it turns out they're now going to be the new targets. They're easy pickings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, these dinosaurs, Deinonychus.
Yeah.
I've heard people pronounce it Deinonychus.
Yeah.
As a kid, I always said Deinonychus. When I looked on Wikipedia, the pronunciation guide put the emphasis on the non. So I think Deinonychus is correct. But yeah, I do not know.
When I was a kid, I said Deinonychus, and I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Okay.
That just seems to flow with what my understanding of how other dinosaurs and things are pronounced. I feel like, I don't know, it's like a Greek. Sounds like a Greek.
It does.
Person. Deinonychus.
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dionysius or something.
Look. I'm sorry, but I just...
Yep.
I have one... It seems to me there is maybe not a total solution, but a better plan than what Rachel and Tobias are doing currently in this book. That they could be doing instead.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like plan? An obvious choice to me.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel can become an elephant. Tobias can sit on her back. I mean, elephants are probably bigger than a lot of the shit you're going to find here, even dinosaurs. You can run through, you can see better, you can move faster. It just seems like, come on, be an elephant.
It's true.
It's like and it's like her favorite
elephant
morph.
Should be like average sized, right?
Yeah, like it's definitely like gonna stomp on some Deinonychuses.
Probably,
I think, or at least like
I
kick
think
them
so,
away.
yeah.
Better than a human.
I mean, they are hunting these triceratops to start, but yeah, it's better than a fucking human.
It just seems crazy that she's just like, let's just walk. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it is a little odd. I'll give you that.
Okay, so that was my main thought during this section. But it's fun. We get the Deinonychus.
Yeah. Yeah, now, so these are the ones that are like really described incorrectly in the book.
Okay.
These are the ones where, so they say they have pebbly skin that was the color of asparagus soup and coffee ice cream swirled together. These guys were almost certainly feathered. I looked into this. They don't have any fossils of Deinonychus skeletons with feather imprints exactly, but all of their closest relatives definitely are confirmed to have feathers 100%. So that's almost certainly these guys had feathers.
Probably the Sario rip, the same thing that's making his morphing painful, altered the dinosaurs.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, you should be picturing these things like the velociraptors in the first Jurassic Park. Those velociraptors were based on Deinonychus skeletons, and they're about the right size for these guys. The actual velociraptors were a lot smaller. They were like the size of turkeys.
Right.
So you should... The Deinonychus are the bigger ones. They're the ones that are... Tobias is like the size of a wolf or something.
Cool. I think I'm going to dinosaurs again now.
Yeah. They're pretty cool. And like... there's all these like thoughts on like, because like we used to be like, oh yeah, they got the big claw on their foot, right? So they probably like slashed and kicked with it, and now there's this idea that's like, so they're it's potentially more of a thing where they use that claw to like hook into their prey and just clamp down on it, and then they like eat it alive, and then they can use their feathers to sort of maintain balance as the thing's thrashing around. Pretty badass.
Deinonychus is probably pissed about Jurassic Park. They got the glory stolen from them.
That's true, yeah.
Like, that's like, us!
Yeah, it's like Tobias with his other birds. It's like, what, the fucking velociraptor? That little thing? What the fuck? Come on.
Did the velociraptor, they did still do the, like, this kind of thing. They did the hunting,
Yeah.
They did do that stuff. They just weren't as cool looking.
Yeah, they just weren't as big. I actually have I have like a picture reconstruction of a bunch of different kinds of raptors, that I could send you here.
Yeah, I got it off
Wikipedia.
Velociraptor. Forget it. I was gonna say I have a Velociraptor body pillow. I don't know.
That's kind of funny.
It's not really a good joke. These are some cool raptors that only we can see. The listeners have to just imagine these.
Yeah, we'll post them on our Twitter maybe.
Wait, so
I don't think I will.
Oh, the Deinonychus is number 6. Okay, I see.
Yeah, so that's like the far right one.
So it's like smaller than a human, but it's not tiny.
Yeah. Like Tobias said, think like a wolf, right? Like it's not going to stand as tall as you, but like total body mass size, it's going to be pretty close.
God damn, Utah Raptor fucking... Look at that guy.
Yeah, he bulked up, right?
Crazy Utah Raptor.
I mean, that's why he's friends with T-Rex. He's too big for these other raptors.
Right.
Dinosaurs are cool. I like them.
Yeah, they're pretty rad. They're pretty dope.
Let's see here. They say that T-Rex tastes like swordfish.
Huh.
In this part.
I would eat a T-Rex.
I love swordfish, honestly.
Yeah,
it's my
swordfish
favorite fish.
Wow. I've only had swordfish like a couple times, but it is good.
It's really good. I would eat a T-Rex. I'd eat the hell out of it.
Okay, good, for sure. Jerky, like a T-Rex steak would be good. Weird to eat a predator, though, right? I don't feel like a Triceratops probably tastes better.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Bronto burger.
People eat like sharks and shit, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. Yeah, all right. I just like to eat something that's subservient to me.
That makes sense.
I mean, I guess.
Talking about,
yeah. What am I talking about?
Go.
No,
Talk about it.
no, I'm not gonna. It was done. No, it wasn't worth it.
I was just thinking about like these triceratops you could eat. What if we called it we should be saying they're tries, instead of triceratopses.
I don't know what you're saying.
Tobias in this section refers to the triceratops herd as tries.
Oh, that's weird. I missed that.
I thought it was really weird and dumb, honestly. I didn't respect him saying it.
Well, he's trying to make it a thing. It's like in Jurassic World when they say the Pachy's are loose.
That's a little racist.
No, they're talking about the Pachycephalosaur or whatever.
Right, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of problematic.
Well, it's in the movie, so must be fine.
Yeah, of course, as we know, everything that's in a movie is totally okay.
They wouldn't put it in a movie if it was problematic. They take it out.
That's right. You almost got me canceled last episode, so I don't appreciate where this is going.
These episodes aren't actually airing. I'm just using this as blackmail.
Okay.
Just in
that
case.
Makes sense. Yeah, you're just lying to me so that I think. I don't know. Anything else to say about this attack here? Oh, Marco here is on his first X in history jokes at this point.
Those are funny.
Yeah, the first cooked food. Complaint about food, all these things.
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing.
Yeah,
it's funny. Marco's funny.
First jokes in history.
Is this the part where Jake goes off and sees whatever he sees?
He's about to go off and look at some stuff here. So yeah, back at the camp, he sees this big comet up in the night sky. He goes off and looks at it, and it sure looks close, right? But Axe says it's not going to hit. Like, he says it's going to come really close to Earth, but it's not going to hit Earth. And Jake also sees a bunch of red flashes of light, like out on the horizon, but he doesn't know what they are. And then they get stampeded again. A bunch of sauropods come through being chased by a T-Rex, right?
That's just how it is out here.
That's just how it is, all these stampedes. And meanwhile, Rachel and Tobias are dealing with their Deinonychus problems, right? So Tobias guides Rachel into the woods, right? He can read the attacking patterns because he's also a predator, and he can figure out which one of them is the leader of the pack. So he gets her into the woods to buy her some time, and he has Rachel throw him up into a tree and continue on without him because he's got this plan. As the Deinonychus run past, he drops down on one and acquires it, but he gets overcome by the predator instinct and joins the pack, also hunting Rachel.
Classic,
right? So yeah, so this is where Jake sees his stuff, right?
Yeah. And this was around the part where I started to go, is this gonna be is this the movie 65 with Adam Driver? Is that
I think I have a note about 65 here too. Yeah, I do.
The classic, iconic movie. This podcast, years from now, listeners will know all about 65.
Yeah, everyone will remember.
They'll know exactly what we're talking about.
A classic. I mean, you can talk about it in a more broad sense too, right? Like, it feels like this is like a thing, right? Like, whenever you go back to the time of the dinosaurs, you're never just back at the time of the dinosaurs, right? It feels like you always kind of got to be like, also, there's the comet coming. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I can't think of many examples, but I guess it seems like maybe.
I guess I don't have other examples. Maybe I feel like that because I read this book so young, and so it's like, oh yeah, this is the default, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
They had 12 seasons of that show. I don't think they. Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. That was always the joke with Land Before Time, right? Was that it would be like once they got to Land Before Time 30, it would be like the really big comet or something.
Yeah.
I definitely told that joke a lot as a kid.
That's funny. That's like, did you hear they're making a sequel to Seabiscuit?
I didn't.
It's called Glue Stick.
Mm.
Good
joke.
That is an old joke from a Late Night with Conan O'Brien monologue. That's like one of 18,000 jokes he ever told on that show that for some reason has stuck with me forever. Thought it was so funny.
It's pretty good. I do like it.
Now, around this part, this is when the book starts to get pretty. It was already pretty action heavy, but there's a lot of action scenes here.
Yeah.
I found some of it a little hard to follow. I don't know if that's just me.
agree.
Okay.
I agree. It doesn't, the bouncing back and forth doesn't necessarily help either. Like the Tobias and Rachel stuff for me wasn't that bad because, you know, it's fairly simple. She's running, he's in the tree, he morphs. But some of this stampeding chaos gets a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing too, right? Like they already had a crazy T-Rex attack where everything's going crazy and yeah, I can also, like, if I didn't have these separated out into notes in front of me, I feel like it would start to blur together. Like, which was the first T-Rex attack? Which was the second?
Yeah, I'm still feeling like that a little bit. But,
yeah.
I think part of the problem is, at this point, we know they're dinosaurs, but especially early on, it's kind of hard to, like, she has to write these descriptions of dinosaurs without just saying, hey, it's a dinosaur. When I don't know, I feel like it's I don't know that the physical descriptions of what they look like and what they're doing are as good as they maybe could be. Some of it I thought felt vague, or I was kind of having trouble picturing exactly what these things were. Other than like, well, I know what a dinosaur looks like, so I can fill in the blanks, but
yeah, I think that's fair that it does rely on the kid being a dinosaur kid to some extent, being like, you have some idea in your head, right? These are like your toys. You go rawr and smash them into each other. Just pretend that's what's happening, right?
Yeah. So it's a little chaotic.
Yeah. I would.
And then we get to this this like dominance fight. Are we ready for that?
Yeah. Let's just finish up the big action sequences before the end here. So, you know, they're surrounded Rachel. Rachel has turned into a grizzly bear at this point. But Tobias kind of jumps the gun and attacks her without orders, right? Like they've got the leader's supposed to give the go ahead. And this triggers a fight. So Tobias and the leader are fighting each other for dominance, right? And Tobias wins. And so now he's the new leader of the Deinonychus pack, and Rachel manages to get through to him before he kills her and be like, Tobias, you're not a dinosaur, you're a bird, which is a dinosaur. So, you know, okay, they're saved. Cool. That's handled.
The sun's getting real low.
Yeah. So and I guess I'll finish the other scene too. So the Tyrannosaurus kills one of the stampeding dinosaurs, and it like falls on Jake. And this is the second vore scene, right? It goes in to eat the dinosaur, and it eats Jake whole. So Jake's all curled up in a ball inside the T-Rex's mouth. So Jake grabs the T-Rex's tongue and acquires it. And then as he's being swallowed whole, he morphs inside its throat. And it gets fucked up extremely bad. And so he gets out, but he doesn't quite kill it, right? So it's just lying there like, my throat's split open, and it's alive enough for all the others to come in and acquire it before it dies. So now they all have T-Rex morphs.
Yeah. Now, I like this for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one reason, but two instances of the same reason.
Okay.
But two things happen in this scene that earlier in the book I thought, why don't they just do this? And then they did it here. The first was when Rachel and Tobias got swallowed, I did think, oh, they should acquire this thing while they're inside it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do it, but they did it here. And I also thought when they first killed the T-Rex, I was like, did it die like instantly? I did think, oh, they should run over and try to acquire it right now. But then they do that. So
yeah,
that was good.
Yeah. So the book could have maybe been consolidated. Like if you were the editor, you might come in and be like, you could just you don't need Right, just do it the first time.
Yeah.
Take out some of this.
Very true. This maybe could have been the length of a normal book.
Yeah.
You didn't need 2 of these scenes that are kind of the same.
Right.
Yeah, pretty true. He does almost K the T-Rex, which I think is good. You know what I'm talking about? He almost K's it. As in J and
I do not know what you're talking about.
J and K. J and K.
Oh. Okay. I'm like thinking like he's joking around. He's J.K. Rowling. What the fuck are you talking about over here?
He almost K.A. Applegates this thing.
Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
Yes. In the Men in Black movie, K is swallowed up by a cockroach man, and he bursts, or he actually shoots his way out of him. But
right, I guess we got 2 of those because Rachel also. I mean, she's digging with her paws, but
I feel like that is something that I've asked about before, was brought up, of like, is someone ever going to get eaten and morph and blow them up from the inside?
I think you probably did, yeah.
So it almost happens.
Didn't that? Oh yeah, because that happened in book 10 too. Marco got eaten by a bird while he was a spider, and he morphed inside the bird and ripped it open.
Jesus Christ. God, it's so fucked up when they do it twice in this book so far.
Yeah, we're only halfway through.
Jesus. A lot of vore.
Yeah, sure is something. I do like that there's a whole point where Rachel is trying to get through to Tobias and saying, Tobias, you're a boy, you're a human, and it doesn't work. And then she goes, oh, wait, fuck, Tobias, you're a bird. And he's like, Rachel?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
She also specifically mentions thermals. She's like, remember thermals? That's what gets him.
That
is you had me at thermals.
The classic movie line.
This was another part where I was like, the Deinonychus fighting for dominance, is that a real thing? But then I was like, oh, one of them's Tobias. So was it just Tobias being a human instigating this? Or is that a real thing? We think like they would just stop the hunt in the middle to fight each other. I don't know if I believe that. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that there is still a little bit of debate whether they actually coordinated pack tactics or not. Like, did they just rush en masse, or did they have like these structures, these organized structures, the way like a wolf pack or a human pack might? I don't think we know that. So I don't know. I think that's just her being like, well, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Sure,
why not?
Could be. I don't know what they did. I don't know what we know.
Birds do weird dominance rituals with each other all the time. So
sure.
Why not?
At this point, by the way, everyone still thinks that Rachel and Tobias are dead.
Yeah, they do. They've had a bunch of nights around the one night around the campfire to sit and think about that too. They have their quiet moments for it.
Jake mentions Rachel and it says, I heard Cassie sniffle. That's kind of the extent of the... we don't have time to dwell on this.
Bleeding heart Cassie over there.
Yeah, if it was
letting out a sniffle.
If it was a fucking dolphin, she'd be bawling. She'd be losing her mind. Yeah.
Are we ready for the cliffhanger ending? Now, I'm not quite ready because I just wanted to say, neep.
Does something say meep?
Neep. Yeah, one of the Deinonychus says neep.
Oh, okay.
I just gotta make sure we hit all the sound effects.
Yeah, there are some good ones.
Anyway.
Yeah. There was another quote that I liked where Cassie says, or no, I don't know who it is. I can't keep track of who's talking at any given time.
Some fucking person.
They spread their arms wide to welcome good old mommy son.
kind of feels like a Marco line to me.
Yeah, it very well could be. Yeah. Good old mommy son.
Wait, you never referred to it as mommy son before?
Rachel is definitely a mommy's boy. Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell you just said.
The
Rachel is a mommy's boy.
Oh, I meant. Did I say Rachel? I meant Marco.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
I see what you're saying now.
Sorry.
Okay. Sure.
Starting to get delirious.
Well, it's good. It's a good thing we only did half this book today.
Yeah. Right. We got plenty of time.
We do got plenty of time.
So yeah, let's talk about this crazy ending here.
Let's talk about
halfway point.
Right. I picked this halfway point on purpose because I wanted to put a nice little cliffhanger in here. So, after all this chaos, Jake, Cassie, Marco, and Axe, they're walking around. And Axe reveals that those flashes of light on the horizon the other night, those were actually artificial. Those weren't natural flashes of light. And as they're walking, they come upon a giant gorge, and they look down into the valley there, and they see buildings and flying saucers. And this is where I've decided to cut the book. That's where we're going to end for today.
Stay tuned.
On artificial light buildings and flying saucers.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you think about my choice of ending here?
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very feels very Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm very curious as to where this is going. I really don't know if I'm gonna like what this is or not. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to, I'm feeling like the Michael Bay Transformers movies where they, like every movie they decided, Transformers have been around. They actually helped out in World War II, and oh yeah, they were around for the dinosaurs too. They did everything in human history. It was Transformers.
Yeah,
but I don't know at this point. Is this Yerks? Is this robots? I don't know what the fuck this is.
Maybe it's T-Rexes flying saucers around.
Is this a thing? Like, are these people who came with them? Is this just a part of history? I don't know what's about to happen here. It's
pretty good. It's one of those, I feel like any other series, you would have been like, they go back in time and there's dinosaurs. And that's a whole book.
Right.
You wouldn't get to the halfway point of the book and be like, all right, we've done all the regular dinosaur stuff, but it's not nearly batshit enough.
What could we possibly do? We already had a T-Rex fight them twice. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. Oh, there's places to go. It's just, in true Animorphs fashion, it is just like, well, there's no way you're gonna. I'm not too worried about you speculating about what could happen here because it's like literally not possible. It's too fucking crazy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I am pretty excited. I might start reading this one early because I just want to know what the hell's gonna happen.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, they should have released it in 2 parts.
Yeah, I guess they released it in 7 covers, but not 2 parts.
They fucked up. Listen, my voice sounds better now, doesn't it?
I guess, sure, why not?
Yeah, because I got it. It just needs to. My vocal cords needed to stretch out.
Sure, why not?
People got to hear the process. That's kind of fascinating in a way.
It kind of is, yeah.
Do you want to hear the pop culture references from the first half of this book?
Okay, let's hear them.
There are a fair number.
Mm-hmm.
Yerks, if they're in their head, can even force you to listen to Kenny G, Marco warns.
Mm-hmm.
That would suck, huh?
Yeah, wow.
Axe is referred to as Cinnabon chomping Andalite scorpion boy. Marco is hanging out with his dad, who I love, by the way.
Yeah.
Wondering if I had the energy to go into the kitchen to get more Doritos. Same,
Mm-hmm.
Marco. Same.
Same.
And then his dad, it's mentioned his dad is eating cheese puffs, which is, I think, capitalized, but I don't think that's actually a brand.
Yeah, I always imagine these as those cheese balls.
Right.
But I don't as a kid, because my dad always ate cheese balls.
I think cheese puffs is like a generic term.
Yeah, this feels, I don't know, could be. Now I think his dad actually for a while here was wondering if he has the energy to get cheese puffs too.
Yes.
Right? Like he doesn't start eating them.
Yeah, right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's good.
Good. They're good. Can you imagine us ever being in a comic book alongside Spider-Man? We'd look like the Clampets. And I think it's Rachel's like, or Cassie says, huh? And he goes, the Beverly Hillbillies. They don't mention this time if, now those were on Nick at Night. I can tell you that. Unlike Hogan's Heroes, there's verification of this. And
Black Gold.
Rachel says, Marco, you do realize that Spider-Man isn't real, right? It's funny.
This is pretty good.
I think Cassie is morphing and says it's as if she were made of silly putty.
Mm-hmm.
We have Navy ships. I don't know if I don't remember if we count that or not as a reference.
We? I don't know.
I wasn't sure. I can't keep track.
Whatever. Why not?
References to, not really the same, but we have Enemies Are Us, Enemy Mart, and JC Enemy.
Yeah, they've got enemies coming out the wazoo here.
Right, because of all the enemies the Animorphs have.
Right.
Yeah. Marco says there's not a single Baywatch girl around, so he can't be dreaming because Carmen Electra, he just says Carmen, is always there when I dream.
Yeah, I think it is clarified. Rachel says, like, I was about to tell him Carmen Electra would never even look at him or something.
Yeah, I feel like I looked that up because I was like, because I didn't watch Baywatch. So I'm like, who's Carmen? Oh, okay. There was a time when Carmen Electra was like just the pinnacle of human sexuality in our culture.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing. I think I was too young to really take that in, but I do remember that was like the cultural idea of what a hot chick looked like. It was Carmen Electra.
Yeah.
I feel like the name's got to be part of it, right?
Oh yeah, that's a hot fucking name.
Mm-hmm.
Carmen Electra. God damn.
Yeah.
Elamist is fucking jacking it right now hearing that. Sorry, that's what cost that Sario rip.
Elamist created Carmen Electra here just so he could jack off.
We find out that Rachel learned about volcanoes by watching the Magic School Bus. Sure, why not?
Magic School Bus.
Great. Oh, you know what? That's a Scholastic book.
That's true.
A little bit of cross promotion there. I wrote down Loch Ness Monster again. I don't know. Does it count?
I think so. Sure. Why not?
But would it count if they said like Bigfoot? I don't think it would. But I think it's the fact that there's a proper name involved.
Who knows?
When they get swallowed, Rachel says, "Who did you expect, Jonah?" Reference to the Bible.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Marco says, "I'd like to dream about a nice ice-cold Coke."
Little product placement there. The rest of these aren't product placement. It's only product placement when Coke does it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I would like to dream about that too. What is this? Jurassic Park, somebody says. Of course, we get the Jurassic Park. Tobias's uncle specifically would sit in his lazy boy. Mm-hmm. That feels like another very 90s thing. They were constantly talking about lazy boys.
Yeah.
Like there'd never been a comfortable chair before the lazy boy.
Now when people talk about lazy boys, they mean me.
That's right. Axe says that Fusion is like children's toys for Andalites, and someone says, so the Andalite Toys R Us must be a wild place, huh?
It's got to be Marco, right?
It must be. It sounds like a Chandler line. Someone describes this as Robinson Crusoe meets Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Someone else says, there's no Burger King anywhere nearby, okay? You think they're in Gondor?
I do think they're in Gondor.
We referenced Forgotten Boy Scout lore. Okay, I don't know if this is a reference really, but I think it should be. Someone refers to a T-Rex as Big Mr. T.
Oh, I knew Marco was starting to call him Big Rexes the whole time. Was there a Big Mr. T? That's good.
Yeah, it's right around that part. He says Big Mr. T.
That's really good.
Rachel and Bearmorph is mentioned to be strong enough to push over a Toyota. Which I guess that's really strong.
Right.
Something is like having the Goodyear blimp dropped on top of you.
The dinosaur falling on Jake, I think.
Oh, okay. Then they say they're lost, but it's fine because they're not exactly looking for the nearest Taco Bell.
I am.
Yeah, I would be for sure.
I just got a new reward, so I might be getting some after we record this.
Fuck, that sounds so fucking good right
now.
I deserve it. It's good for my throat. A Baja Blast is good for you.
Yeah, get some volcano menu. That'll smooth out all those ridges.
Now, Rachel and Tobias are referred to as Xena Warrior Princess and a Bird Boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Buffalo Bill would have hung up his hat rather than go after these bad boys.
Yeah, I think that was the tries.
Okay, that's okay. The bad boys. And another one, boys. I don't know. This is like a soft one. They say something is like seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time.
Oh, yeah, sure, I guess.
I don't know. It's like the canyon itself isn't like man-made, but calling it the Grand Canyon is a...
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of landmarks you could reference, so this gives you some insight into the 90s zeitgeist that the Grand Canyon was...
Like, if someone referred to Yellowstone, that would definitely count, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What is this stupid fucking show? This is what we talk about? We have to debate what counts as a reference? Like, listen, what does that even mean?
The references are the most important part of Animorphs.
No one's emailed us yet to say stop with the fucking references. So
I will never stop. This is the part that I care. I need to catalog them.
Yeah. Look, we did it under 2 hours, so hey, it's still for us. Technically, it qualifies as a shorter episode.
It is. This is, and I kind of figured this would be a shorter episode going in, though I thought maybe it would be even shorter than this, but,
I came in with the Friends trivia and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for all that help there.
Well, I enjoyed the first half of this book. I'm not sure. I have to wait until we finish it to know how my feelings are fully shaping up.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I'm excited for that. If anyone out there listening has a comment about parts 1 or the book as a whole, because by the time we get to it, we'll probably have finished the book. So you can email us with any of those comments or questions, theyerkyboys@gmail.com. We're still on Twitter at @theyerkyboys, as am I at Quince. I'm also on Threads at Jonathan Estes. And you can find my other podcast, Geeks on Trial, on YouTube or on your podcast platform of choice, audio or video, in which my co-host and I settle geeky disputes.
Jesus Christ, you're all fucking over the place.
You can also find... I'll stop there.
Okay. Me, you can find on Twitter at DogTimesMcGee. That's it. I'm not a fucking all over the place. No, I'm not moving to Threads.
Gonna get you there.
Fuck off.
You're gonna miss
Thanks
out on
everyone
my
for listening.
You're welcome.
Not you. Talking over me over there.
You're welcome.
Tune in next time. We will continue, actually, discussing Megamorphs 2 in the Time of Dinosaurs, in which there's still eyeballs on the Yerky Boys.